All right, so we're talking about a turbocharger on the first generation Pierce Aero XT. This one is a little bit more complex because if you look in the book, it's called a variable pitch geometry turbocharger. So I'll try and explain that. Basically what a turbocharger does is it forces or boosts pressure going into the engine, and it's designed to create more horsepower. An engine will run without a turbocharger, it just won't run as good. So the turbocharger is going to make horsepower. So air starts through the side intake, through our pre-filter or spark arrestor, then it comes down and it goes through the air filter, and you can see it goes through the intake side of the turbocharger. Now inside the turbocharger is a turbine. Has a turbine blade on the intake side, has a turbine blade on the exhaust side. The exhaust coming out of the engine naturally spins the turbine on the exhaust side, which pushes exhaust out the exhaust pipe and out through the DPF and the muffler. But it's actually almost creating a vacuum and drawing air to the inside of the turbine. And then from there, it's going to boost or create pressure. Now that air is going to be hot, and we need to cool it down because cooler air makes more horsepower. So to cool it down, we run it through what's called an intercooler, and if you follow that piping, it's basically like a dry radiator on the front of the engine, and then it's going to come back around through that cooler and go right down inside into the engine. Again, it will run without that intercooler, it just won't make as much horsepower. Engines run better on cooler air and they make more power. So the last piece is the variable pitch geometry. So it's basically this device here, and what that does is that tilts the blades on the turbocharger, so we can tilt them flat when the engine is at idle, and that allows the turbo to spool up faster, and then we can tilt the blades to create more or less boost. What that does is essentially eliminates what's known as turbo lag, and it allows the turbo to spool up faster and create more horsepower more quickly.